Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? Welcome to my Thursday live stream where we talk about photography, what's new, what's going on, and really it's just time to kind of hang out and catch up. And I take any questions you have about the Olympus cameras or photography in general. I do the best I can, but I really appreciate you all being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. It's always the highlight of my day. I'm so sorry for starting late again. I thought I had plenty of time, and then I said, okay, let me go make some coffee, and then it's like 10 minutes late. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I don't know why I do that. But anyhow, let's see who's here. Have oh, DeMorgan, good to see you. And Randy, oh, you bought the 100. The 100 to 400. Awesome. Wow. How do you like it? And then good morning, Marjorie. And let's see, John Follows is here. Tirupin Mandal, good. Anyone trying to capture the Jupiter Saturn on the 21st? Interesting. I didn't know that was happening. I'm not like an astro guy, but you know, it's weird. For some reason, the other day, I asked Alexa how far away Jupiter was. I don't know why, but it's like 3.2 or 300. It's three something millions or billions of miles away. I can't remember now why I was asking him. It's just the weirdest things. Alexa is so addictive. I just ask it everything. Usually, you know, what time is it? What's the weather? But sometimes I'll just have this question in my head, like, how far away is Jupiter? And it'll tell me, and I just have no sense of scale. So I said, how many light years away is Jupiter? And it wouldn't tell me that. It just gave me the definition of a light year. I was like, well, okay. Anyway, the numbers were so big, and I think about it, and it's like when people are doing astrophotography, and you think about how far away something is, and the fact that we're trying to capture light reflecting off another planet to come back that far away, and then there's that inverse square law about how light diminishes, right? Or the power of the light reduces over distance by half, or some inverse square, right? Excuse me. So it's amazing that we can see Jupiter at all, really. Something being so far away, knowing what we know about light. And I don't know, and then people make the argument, you know, yeah, full frame sensor would do better job than micro four thirds, but I mean, it's like this much difference to us, right, to our own eye, but in terms of the scale of our entire universe, and not even that far, just our own solar system, how much difference does this little bit really make? You know, um, when you're doing astrophotography, it seems to me it wouldn't make much. I mean, I'm not an astrophotography guy, but uh, I can't imagine it would make any difference, really. So, anyhow, see who else is here. Plato, Jonas, John Yutze, Jose Alberto Martin Ortega. God, what an awesome name. There are just some names sometimes, they just roll off the tongue, and it's so nice. Pen pal, hi Rob. Or hi to me from Niagara Falls. Good. Um, Alexa is a drug. True that. And Randy says, I have to go to the desert at night for Jupiter. It's going to be effing cold. Oh, I got to tell you a story. And then Seraphim, good to see you. I'll be getting the 17 millimeter Pro shortly. Wow. Yeah, that's a nice one. You know, you like the new background? This is a Doctor Who TARDIS. I don't know which one it is. It's one of the series that I've watched. I'm guessing, I don't know. Somebody tell me which Doctor is this one. And the Morgan, the 12 to 45 is everybody good as the 12 to 40. Yeah, I got to talk about that. but fits the pen F much better. And then Richard Jones says, when you talk about star, you're talking about images that have changed. What we see tonight is light that's traveled over millions of years ago. Yes, the stars themselves. But I'm talking about like the planet Jupiter. I mean, that might be only a few minutes difference, right? I don't know how far away it is in terms of light years. But maybe only 15 seconds? I don't know. Maybe from the Doctor Who movie? No, I think this is from the series. But I haven't seen too many of their movies, to be honest. But yeah, so we had a little snowstorm weather front. Not, I mean, it just barely snowed where I am, but you go 20 miles north and they got a couple inches, right? Oh, hi, baby. What is it? What? So, what was I gonna? Now I can't. What do you want? You want some coffee? No? What is it? Are you hungry? Oh, nope. Sit down. Go to bed. Come here. Go to bed. Go to bed. Wow, 3 feet of snow. What? You want me to throw you out? You want to go out? No, you're hungry. What is it? I'm busy. I got a whole crowd over there. You want to say hi? Do you know what a camera is? Look at me. Look at me. What is that over there? Look over there. Look over there. That's my hat. You want some coffee? No, you don't want any coffee. All right, hold on. I gotta let her out. I can't concentrate with her around. Go to bed. Lay down. Hey. Maybe she'll be good. She was laying down there when I started. She has some bug up her butt about something. Oh, the background is the 2005 TARDIS. I don't know why that got blocked, but there you go. Yeah, David Tennant. This is the David Tennant TARDIS. Like, this is my favorite Doctor, too. Yeah, this is my companion. Now we know who rules the house. Yeah, she does. She's over there sitting by the space heater now because it's cold. But yeah, well, I was talking about the weather. So yeah, we got a little. I got a little bit of rain and sleet and just a very light dusting of snow. But it got down to like 28 degrees. And I bought this. If you guys were here on Sunday, I bought, somebody said Yangnuo had a 42.5 millimeter lens, f1.7 autofocus for $92. So I was out testing this. It came in on, no, it came in on Sunday. I don't know what day it came. It came in. And so, yeah, it came in on Tuesday. I ordered it Sunday. It came in Tuesday, something like that. Anyway, I was out testing this on Tuesday during the day. And I was comparing it against, well, I had my 12 to 40 Pro lens mounted on my other camera. And I had multiple cameras. So I took the Pro lens off and I put it on a table outside on my picnic table. And then I started testing this lens, right? And I brought all my cameras and flashes and everything back in, but I left my 12 to 40 Pro out on the picnic table, face up like this. Face up with no lens cap, no rear lens cap on it. And for 24 hours, it got rained on, snowed on, and frozen overnight. Because I didn't finish, so I didn't test yesterday, right? And then I went back out today to test this lens some more because I ran out of time on Tuesday. And I found my 12 to 40 Pro lens, and I picked it up, and it was frozen solid. I mean, I couldn't zoom in or out, and I looked in the front element, and there's ice inside the glass because the water had dripped down from the back to the front, and there was all ice in the front. So I brought it in today, and it's sitting on my kitchen counter with the rear element facing down, trying to drain the water down. But I'm afraid it's never going to be the same because there's going to be water spots all over inside on all the internal elements, because there's probably like a dozen or 2 dozen pieces of glass inside that are all soaked. But I'm going to let it dry out maybe for about a few days or a week. You know, whenever it feels like whenever it stops dripping, it still drips. If I shake it, some water still comes out. I went online today to look, you know, oh, maybe I can replace it. $500 to replace it for a used one. Maybe 600, you know, if it's in good condition. Brand new, I was buying them for like 700. Why is that lens still so expensive, you know? Put it into a bag of dry ice. Put it in rice. Oh, no, I don't have any of that stuff. I have rice, but I'm just going to let it dry out. I don't know what else to do. Maybe put it in the fridge. That'll dehumidify it. Oh, Pen Pal figured it out. Takes 33 minutes for light to get from Jupiter to Earth. Thank you. Did you ask Alexa, or did you just know that? Some people just know weird things, you know? You just ask them a question and it's just something I know. But that's cool. Yeah, Seraphin, gear jail. The way I treat cameras and lenses. Well, this wasn't treatment. This was more like negligence, right? It's not like I was treating it badly. I just was negligent. Totally forgot it was on the table. Ah. Yeah, I don't know, Demorkin. I'm worried about the dust from the rice getting inside the lens if I put it in with rice. That's the only thing that concerns me. Because, you know, you always hear about that with cell phones, right? Throw your cell phone in a pile of rice and it'll fix it. But with a lens, you know, that fine powder that rice gives off, you know, I worry that might get inside if I do that. Yeah, see, Scott Mumford is saying, and he's heard of rice to dehumidify phones. Yeah, Richard Jones says light takes 38 to 52 minutes to reach Earth. Because, yeah, you know, the planets don't rotate around the sun in a perfect circle, right? They're a little bit oblong. So that's why sometimes it takes longer for light to get here than other times, right? Folks tell me, Randy says, folks tell me I'm full of useless little information. And the lens is weatherproof when mounted to the camera. Yeah, it wasn't mounted to the camera. I mean, the one time I leave the lens out, it has to rain, snow, and ice and freeze. Like any other day this week would have been perfectly fine, right? But the one day I leave it out, we get a frickin' winter storm. I mean, it's just not right. So if I replace it, I don't know. I might go with a 12 to 45, the smaller one. I don't know if I'm going to miss the 2.8 because I got a bunch of primes I can use now. When I bought that lens, I didn't have a bunch of primes. So I think now that I have plenty of primes, I think I won't miss the 2.8. I can just go with, because I don't use it professionally, right? I mean, I was thinking about using it for some video work, but, or I did use it for video work one time, well, twice, but uh, I don't think I need it anymore. Because I got a Panasonic now for video work. So if I replace the lens, assuming it's ruined, it might dry out and work fine. You know, just a little microfiber cloth on it and I'm good, but I don't know. Oh, you know, I do have a bunch of silica gel packets, John. That's true. I could try that. But first it needs to be, because not right now, it's been 8 hours. Even now, when I turn the lens upside down and back, there's still water inside. And I keep shaking it and it just won't come out. So I'm just letting it sit there until the bulk of that comes out. Then maybe tomorrow I'll put it in with some, because it is pretty well sealed, believe it or not. The water's just not coming out. I will try and put it in some silica gel packets. I do have a big can of that stuff. And sometimes the light stops on the way for brewski. Yeah, 429 for 12 to 40 f2.8. Yep, that's about right. That's like 500 US, give or take, right? Many people say the Panny 25 1.7 is not that sharp. I took a bunch of mushroom pics on the M5 and they were, yeah, it's a great lens, Plato. I got two of them. There's one right here, and I got the other one mounted on the camera. But yeah, this was my very first prime that I bought for, all the same reasons a lot of you bought it, because it's like 200 bucks less than the Olympus version, right? And it's not good for video, but for photos, no issue. The only thing is, Maddie and some others, Maddie Salanto, I guess, confirmed it, but a few others said that a back focus is a little on at f4. So I've never noticed it, so just don't shoot at f4 and you'll be fine. Or shoot at f4 and see if yours back focuses. It may not. I don't know. Yeah, Randy, it's possible it's doomed. Oh, Thomas, you have the Pancake, the Panasonic 20 millimeter. That's a cool little lens. I've thought about that. It's only a couple $100, I like Pancake lenses. The smaller, the lighter, the better. And Seraphin says, I consider the Olympus version far superior. I think it's a little better build quality. And I don't know, I never really compared them side by side. I mean, I did do a video comparing them side by side. I didn't see that much difference in terms of image quality. But for video work, it's definitely, having the Olympus lens on the Olympus body was way better. Who said vacuum my lens? I don't have a water vacuum. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, Double Dash said I can vacuum the water out with a food vacuum and a sealer maybe. Yeah, I don't have either of those things. Yeah, food vacuum. I never even heard of such a thing. What is that? A food vacuum. Um, I'd be afraid to like dislodge some of the seals though if I start vacuuming and putting pressure inside the lens that wasn't designed to have any kind of, I don't know. I just let it drip. I mean, it's probably ruined anyway. I'm not gonna go to extreme lengths to save it. Because like I said, it's not a lens I use that much anyway. Just sucks, because it was great for comparing any new lenses I get, because I know how good that lens is. So whatever other lenses I get, like this Yongnuo lens, I can compare it, right? But alas, I may not be able to anymore. Maybe the 12 to 45 f4, that might be a better option, because I never liked to use it because it's kind of bulky for me. You know, 385 grams and big. I don't know. I just felt it was a little bit too bulky. I never really liked to take it with me. Now, when I use my EM1 Mark II or Mark III, that was the only lens I would put on it. That's like bread and butter. You know, it's like a perfect match. But I rarely take those cameras out for my photo walks and things. I usually take my Pen F or my EM5 III. I don't really bother with the EM1s for photo walks. Your Adventures of robtrek. Yeah, Olympus rebuild should be reasonable. There was a good deal on it, I think, but I don't know. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. I think in January. There's so many things I want to do in January. I've spent so much money this quarter. I just can't spend anymore. Yeah, I don't have to drop them to terminate. Just leave them out. It's just bad luck. The one day I leave it outside, we have a snowstorm or a winter storm. The one time I leave a lens outside. But I was determined to go out that day without a camera bag, so I just carried everything by hand. And then when I got there, I had to take that lens off to put this stupid Yongnuo on there. So I got this, you know, why couldn't I leave this out, like this $92 lens out in a snowstorm? I had to leave my 12 to 40 Pro. I mean, anyway, I will have a review on that lens coming soon, but for you guys that are here now, yeah, don't buy it. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, Murphy's Law, isn't that right? Who has better autofocus? The S5, they're pretty close. I mean, for photography, no difference. Because I tested, yeah, I've tested them and I've gone out on multiple photo walks with them side by side. No difference in autofocus for stills. For video, a slight edge to the Olympus in just normal type video stuff. You know, I'm not gonna do like Casey does over at Camera Conspiracies and do a 500% zoom on the little branches and watch the branches pulse. You know, that's a little extreme for my use case. You know, I can imagine like if you're making movies or cinematography, you know, you're a hardcore video filmmaker, you know, you're making movies. Yeah, that might be an issue, but for what does he call it? Hobo vloggers like me, you know, that it's perfectly fine. I really didn't have any problems with it drifting or anything like that. And like I said, for still photography, I did test the one feature, the face detect, and it did. Both cameras did very good. The M1 Mark III and the S5 were really close. And that's the one thing about the EM1 Mark III, that the face and eye detect is amazing compared to every other Olympus camera. There's just no comparison. Because I was doing some testing today, you know, with the 45 and the eye detect on the M1 Mark III. You know, I was only standing maybe 2 meters away from the camera, and the face detect worked on all the cameras, but the eye detect, only the M1 Mark III was pretty spot on every time and nailed the eye autofocus. You know, fortunately, the depth of field is not so shallow that you have to really worry about it, but there's no comparison with the M1 Mark III versus any other Olympus camera. The M1 Mark III is right up there, I would imagine, with any camera on the market. So I'm just saying that from Like, I don't really know for a fact because I don't have every other camera on the market. I don't have any Sonys or Nikons that I can compare it against. But compared against the Canon RP, compared against the Panasonic S5, the face eye detect on the M1 Mark III is at least as good as those two cameras. At least as good. No, I didn't see Casey's kitten. I haven't watched. He's had a couple of videos come out this week that I haven't caught up on yet. Stephen Page says, question, how do you change in-camera file location? Only had my M3 for about 2 weeks. I think you can only change the file name. I'm not familiar with the M10 Mark III as much, but file location, let me think. Let me just look real quick. Oh, need a battery. I know the file name. I just want to double check and see if there was something for file location in that same menu. We'll have to have a card in there. Go to yeah, there's no, yeah, there's nothing in there for file location, only file name. Sorry, there's nothing in there for file location, just file name. And Thomas says, not that Tony has entered into the conversation, but he predicts for 2021 that Jip will transform Olympus into a cheap camera you can buy. That goes against everything they've stated up to this point, and you have to take everything they say with a grain of salt. I did watch a little bit of that predictions video he made, him and Chelsea. I just watch it for Chelsea. Tony has kind of this like dead stare at the camera, right? That kind of freaks me out a little bit. He just kind of sits there, right? I don't know. uh, maybe it's just me, but he just, yeah. But I watch it for Chelsea. But my guess is because the rumor is, or the statements they've made so far that I've read, is they're planning to focus on high-end cameras and video, right? Video features in high-end cameras, which is totally opposite of cheap over-the-counter stuff. If they were gonna, okay, if they were gonna do that, they wouldn't need to buy all the factories and cover, you know, bring over a lot of employees. They didn't bring them all, obviously, but bring over all the employees. They wouldn't need to do all that. They could have just bought the brand, right? Because there's a lot of companies that just buy brands that are struggling or going out of business. They buy the brand and they put that brand on this cheap over-the-counter stuff you find at the pharmacies and all that stuff. They don't intend to, you know, they just use the brands and they slap it on, you know, the same camera that would come in a generic brand, you know. You know, they wouldn't have had to do all that. So, and Olympus wouldn't keep a 5% stake in the company either. So, and also, I don't think Olympus would just give their company away or sell it off to another place that's just going to do something like that. Because, you know, cameras were, and I've said this months ago, I said, that's their baby, you know, that's like, you know, they wanted to succeed, right? After they give it to somebody. But maybe I'm just naive and it's just business and that's what's going to happen. I mean, time will tell, but I don't think so. My dead stare. I know, right? And then Randy says, updated some Nikon F4 and Ilford HP5 shot sun flickers. Oh, okay, cool. I'd love to see those. And the location is irrelevant. It's just right to the SD card. Yeah, location is irrelevant, but maybe there's a reason they want to do that. You know, I don't know. I don't know what their workflow is. I can't think of any reason, but that doesn't mean there isn't one, right? So all I do is reset the name every time I need to change. Stephen Page. I'm really not sure what your question is, because there's two kinds of namings, right? There's one where it'll automatically reset, so it'll be like P001, then P002, and so on. But then when you put the next SD card in, it'll start back at P001. That's the reset. If you put the file naming to auto, it'll continue that sequence. So if the last picture you took was P0150, when you change SD cards, the next picture will be P0151. And then as far as changing names, you can have the Olympus, you can tell the camera to save the name with a different prefix. So it'll still add a counter at the end, but you can change the prefix. So sometimes what I do is I change the prefix to be the name of the camera. So if it's the EM1 Mark III, for example, I'll call it 13EM, right? So I know it's the EM1 Mark III. And I lead with the numerals because if I put the numerals after the EM, it's a little confusing in the numbering system. Or I'll say 5EM. The only one I don't have to do that is like the Pen F. I can just say Pen F dash, 0001. Yeah, my dead stare. He has soulless eyes. Try that on my vlog sometime, huh? Right on both observations. I know, something's not... It's kind of... You know who else has that look is like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Has that kind of same kind of look when he looks at you. Something's just... Or Geordie LaForge without his visor. That look. Joseph's asking, are there any cameras and software that output HEIC or HEIF files? Not that I know of. I think actually, I'm sorry. I believe Canon, some of the Canons may be supporting that now. Canon HEIF. Yeah, so, yeah, I believe Canon does. So you can see Canon has moved on to HEIF, but won't ditch JPEG. What are you using to edit HEIF? So there's lots of good information out there on it. I don't think anyone else is doing it, but Canon is. I guess it's in the Canon R models. I don't know about the other models. But it'll say on the website when you look at the camera specs what is the formats that it'll save in. And you'll see raw, raw, JPEG, and maybe HEIF. That was for Joseph Bonifacio. Wow, another awesome name. Seraphin says, the channel used to be fun. Now they are negative and just piss me off. So this negative crap is why I don't watch them. Yeah? Yeah, their channel's evolved a little bit. I think saying negative's a little rough. No, it's not. They're a little bit negative. Um, I'm more of a, I don't know, I try to be more optimistic. Life is short. And then Xenography had a nice video about the OM1, OM2 the other day. Guy knows his vintage camera lenses. Oh, I'm not familiar with him. Let me look him up real quick. So this guy, huh? All right. I'm going to subscribe. I'll follow him. Oh, let's see. We got some notifications. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is the camera I want to get. I want to get a little Trip 35 next. But anyhow, thanks for that. You guys always referring me to great channels. I just don't have time to watch them all sometimes, you know? And Randy says, did you guys see Imaging Resource interview with Olympus on how they waterproof their cameras? Very cool. I did see that, yes. It was amazing. They had like an EM1X or something all disassembled, and they were showing all the little rubber you know, O-rings and how they designed the buttons. Yeah, it was really fascinating. And Tina Bergstrom says, anyone here getting into light painting? I've picked up a few tools from light painting brushes, looking for tips. Ooh, you know who's really good at that? Dang it. There was a channel, Tina, for light painting. Where those guys, I mean, Joe Edelman did some in the past, so look up Joe Edelman. Let me see if I can find these other guys. I mean, I have a couple of videos on light painting, but let me see if they come up. Yeah, these guys. So, whoops, you can't see that. Here you go. Light Painting Pro. Light Painting Photo. So I watched some of their videos. They're pretty good. And they use probably some of the same tools you may have just purchased. Let's see. They got a lot of videos here. So check them out. They're pretty good. And let's see. That was Tina, Randy. Xenography is interesting. Yeah, that looks interesting. Not you, Boca Tony, Adam Favre. I saw you, Adam, on Joe Edelman's stream. You asked him some question. I can't remember. I watched a little bit of Joe Edelman's stream, and then you came up near the end. And I watched Jimmy's stream today. It was on yesterday. I just caught it this morning. He was talking about, I guess he did a poll of the most or the best cameras Olympus has. It was like the EM1 Mark III, I can't even remember, EM5 Mark II, and EM1 Mark II. So 2 EM1s and an EM5 Mark II. I would have to agree with that, though, with what everybody else voted. EM1 Mark III, EM1 Mark II, EM5 Mark II, all great cameras. I mean, Olympus makes all great cameras, all of them, but if you had to pick the top 3, I think that was a good pick. Optimistic with an unshakable sense of impending doom. That's you, huh, Lane? And then Steve says, so frustrating that all the files go into one folder. So used to being able to change the date. Yeah. You were able to change that on another camera, or are you talking about just using files like on your computer, because I'm not, I mean, I don't have a lot of cameras from other manufacturers, but I'm not aware of any camera that lets you put things into different folders. Xenography, study of Jupiter, appropriate for night sky coming up. And those old Russian Jupiter vintage lenses, yeah. Okay, and then Bob's Finley says, on the M1.3, there is a create folder option. Never used it, but yeah, you know, you're right. That's why I had to be sure. I thought you know, in the back of my head, you know, I thought I saw it somewhere, but you're right. The M1 Mark III has that. But definitely not like on an EM10, or this is the EM5 Mark II. It's not on, if it's not on EM5 Mark II, it's not on EM10 Mark III, except for 4K video. But other than that, you know, it's not going to be there. Yeah, there's a good amount, definitely. But yeah, Tina, that one channel, Light Painting Photo, I've seen some of theirs and they do good work. And Roberto says, shooting my Miju eye film camera, every shot is precious, makes me take my time. Yeah. Yeah, you're so, you know, every shot with film, you're so invested in it, you know, in terms of time, money, um, that you take your time to, and by time, I mean, you don't see them right away. You have to send them out to get developed and come back, and then you print them or you scan them yourself. I mean, it's a big process, right? Or you have the people that develop them scan them. You know, there's so many different variables there, but that's what I mean by time. I'm not talking about the time in the field composing the shot, because you know you're going to use a frame. That's why I really like the Pen F, you know, film camera, because it's a half frame. So I don't feel quite as bad. I feel a little more liberating. It's a little more liberating to know I got 72 frames instead of 36. So I can waste a couple here and there. Yeah, Adam says, yeah, people will either innovate or do something else. Yeah, we don't know. You know, we just have to wait and see. So I'm not going to sweat it until, well, I'm never going to sweat it. I got good cameras now, right? EM1 Mark III, EM1 Mark II, EM5. I mean, I'm good for a couple of years. So, and by then, hopefully something new and great will come out from JIP. If not, somebody else will have one, I hope. But yeah, I'm good for several years. I'm not like Jimmy Chang burning through, you know, 150,000 clicks a year, you know, and burning through cameras, you know, because I don't do that kind of photography. The photography I do, I might do 300 or 400 shots on a shoot, and thank God I got a photo job this weekend. Oh my God, it's about frickin' time. Oh, and I'm really upset too. I mean, I'm happy about this job, but this lady, this agent is using another photographer. One of them is really good, but I looked at the last two listings she had up, and I said, that guy sucks. You know, I can do better than that. Maybe he's charging a lot less, you know, because I'm not the cheapest guy out there anymore. I thought I was. I'm competitive, you know, but I I was like, why? Why does she call the guy to do that job? Maybe she'll never use him again. You know, because after you get a couple of bad shoots, you know, you don't call them again, right? But um, yeah, she's got one job I saw was not great. I mean, it was fair photography. Like he's just starting out, he or she is just starting out in real estate photography. I can tell because they're trying, right? But their lines aren't quite straight. Their white balance is mixed, you know, from room to room. Um, and, you know, they're very green. So I'm not faulting them for their work if they're charging appropriately, because the pictures were just barely acceptable, in my opinion. So if they're charging half what I charge, maybe, you know, I'll cut the agent some slack on that. But if they're charging the same as me and delivering that crap, oh my God, no frickin' way. You know, I'm really upset. So she gave me this other job, which I'm gonna go do this weekend. But I'll have to talk to her about these last two photo jobs. I'm like, what? Who is this guy that you just hired? You know, to do these other photo jobs. You know, because I get it. You know, agents, they're cheap. They don't want to spend any money. You know, I get it. So I'm not going to get upset when somebody charges less than me and does a better job. I'm not upset. I'm happy for them, you know? But when somebody does a worse job than I do, they better be charging half. Otherwise, why save 50, 70 bucks or whatever the difference is, you know? Get the job done right. So I'm happy and I'm mad at the same time with this agent. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Because I gave her a hard time. Well, let me rephrase that. I was telling her this other photographer she used is really good. You know, I said, you know, I'm happy to do all your photography, but he's good too. You know, so I don't feel bad. I said, if you want to use him, I don't feel bad because he's doing a better. I didn't say that exactly, that he's doing better than me. I just said he's very good. And he really is better than me. And he's charging less, you know. But these last two photo shoots that I saw on her site, I'm like, come on, you know. It's like you could have gave me those two jobs and I wouldn't be sitting here for 7 weeks with no income. Well, anyways, finally broke the streak of no jobs, no photo jobs. I was starting to get, man, I was starting to say, man, I might need to apply for some food stamps or get some, you know, I was sweating a little bit. 7 weeks, no work. Anyway, that's enough about me. There's a good amount of light painting YouTube. Yes, Randy, there is. And shooting my media. I'm sorry, I read all that. And then David says, oh, hey, David, how are you? David Tellett's here. The Trip 35 is great. I have a couple of extras. Oh, my God. That would be freaking awesome. But you got to charge me for it this time. Randy, or David gave me this Pen F, just in case you guys don't know. He gave me this Pen FT film camera. You know, I had to buy the lens for it, but you know, so he's very, very generous of you, David. I still really appreciate that. So yeah, definitely. We probably won't see each other till, you know, next year, early next year, at the next photo walk. David's also a member of the photography club I belong to out here, and we've been going on photo walks, you know, every week, every other week for the last 5 or 6 months, and that's how we met, was at the photo club. And he came in with all these film cameras. I'm like, what the hell is that? You know, like he had these really cool looking film cameras. So we got to talking, and he said he had a Pen FT. Actually, the first time I met David Tellett was in a stream, a phone call, like a Zoom conference with the photo club, and behind him he had racks of like film cameras behind him. I'm like, what what is all those film cameras? I was like so impressed, you know. Oh, thank you, Elaine, to buy a pack of food stamps. Thank you so much. Oh my God, I'm so hungry. Oh, so I finally got a photo job though. Man, that was, you know, being a photographer really, especially this year, you know, it's been, yeah, it's not a high paying job, at least not real estate photography. You can make a living. You really go at it and do it full time, but For the most part, it's kind of a part-time thing. Part-time money, I should say. And I hardly use my G9 anymore. I love my M5 Mark III so much. Yeah. Yeah, the M5 Mark III. Where is that? That's this one. I got the kit lens on here now. This is really my go-to camera for, you know, I got the grip for it, so it's really comfortable and it protects the base, right? Because people are complaining about the base breaking off. I'm like, well, buy a plate for it, you know? I love, love, love this camera. So small, lightweight, does everything. Great autofocus, great video autofocus, great, you know, mic jack, articulating screen, weather sealed. I mean, this, if I get a 12 to 45 Pro, we'll have to see if my 12 to 40 recovers or not, but this is my go-to camera. This one and my Olympus Pen F. I got a 24 millimeter OM lens adapted to it right now. This is an f2.8. It's really a perfect lens. If you're going to adapt a lens, it's really a good one to adapt to Olympus cameras, is the OM 24 millimeter f2.8. All right, you have the M5 II and the M1 II. Yeah, the Mark II series is still, in my opinion, the Mark II series was really the pinnacle of the Olympus line. I mean, the Mark IIIs are nice, right? The M1 Mark III, the M5 Mark III. But I think in terms of innovation and build and just sort of their place in the camera world, the Mark II series were the best cameras that Olympus ever made. Like I said, I know the M1 Mark III is a better camera than any of those, but it didn't quite make that leap that the Mark II series did for Olympus. You know, the Mark III series didn't make that leap that the Mark II did. The Mark III series was kind of a minor evolutionary, not revolutionary, but evolutionary type upgrade, not revolutionary. Whereas I feel like the Mark IIs were closer to the revolutionary side for Olympus, you know. Yeah, I'm so ready too, Randy. Springtime. John Yusei says, just goes to show that a great camera is a great camera, regardless of how many Roman numerals it has behind it. Yes. And the M1X has the create folder option too, just never used it. Okay. Thank you, Bob Finley. Found it. So the EM10 Mark III has a folder option too? I assume that's what Bob Finley's helping you with. I didn't see Bob Finley. I thought, Steve, you said you had the EM10 Mark III. If you have the M1 Mark III, then I could have grabbed my camera and showed you. But that's why I picked up the M5, because I thought you had the M10. My mistake, if I read that wrong. And Randy says, I was using colored flashlight, but could not turn it off after I made the big light ball. The light and the switch is expensive from the light. Ah. Elaine bought one and lost it. And Plato says, what I like about Ollie, besides the ergonomics and features, is the colors. The JPEGs are so natural and pleasing. Yes, I do like the colors coming out of the Olympus too. And Thomas says, in defense of Tony, for me, his best tip was to leave the battery door open when you remove the card or batteries so you won't walk out of the door with a brick. This has saved me on quite a few occasions. Yes, that is a good idea. And Adam Farr says, so Rob, when you're shooting for real estate, how true to life are you with room sizes when you're shooting with wide angle lenses? It's not. It's very, you get a lot of wide angle distortion. The main thing is you just have to represent the property as realistically as possible. But when you're trying to show the whole room in one shot and it's a small room, there's going to be distortion. I'm going to see if I can pull up a really good example. Maybe, maybe not. Where the heck is my folder? Well, this is as good example as any. So this is a very small condo that I did. And, you know, I was using very wide angle lens. Let me see. I can tell you this was probably, but look at the front door, right? This is the front door here on the left. It's too wide. It's not that wide in real life. And then look at this window. This is a little bit wide because they're towards the edges of the frame. So they get stretched out because of the wide angle lens. And then if we look at the next picture, see the same, this is the same sliding glass door. It looks a lot smaller, right? Because now it's in the center of the frame and it's not towards the edge, so it's not being pulled or stretched. And there's just no way to avoid it. This is a small place. I mean, I don't think this living room here was even more than 120 square feet or so. I mean, the whole place was only about 600 square feet. So it's a very small condo, but this is a good example. That's outside, that's the kitchen. See, the sink is very stretched because it's coming right up into the frame. So it's really hard to not have that distortion. And you'll see it in every single real estate picture. It just can't be avoided with small. Now with larger spaces, you know, you don't have to shoot quite as wide, right? You can use a little bit narrower lens. And in normal photography, like, you know, when we do landscapes and panoramas, we don't have that kind of distortion because we can have these really wide pictures. But in real estate photography, they have to be kind of like Instagram. They have to be kind of squared off. So 4:3 is almost a perfect format, you know, the Micro Four Thirds for real estate photography, because it's almost squared off anyway. And when you have to stick to that format and then fit the whole room in that one square box, yeah, it's hard to avoid. So some rooms look bigger than they are, but it's okay. You know, you're not misrepresenting the property. You're just, you know, you're showing it the best you can, basically. Yeah, exactly. You see so many shoots of rooms that are much bigger in the photos than real life. Yeah, mainly because they're smaller rooms and they get them in one shot, and because of the format, there's not much you can do about it. If you really wanted everything to be in perspective, yeah, you would have to shoot a wider pano, right? But you can't show panos on real estate sites. Everything is usually squared off, and that's the challenge, right? And then Roberto's asking, are real estate photo prices different for renting or selling? No, it's no different. Based on square footage and mainly, yeah. Don't believe when they say the camera never lies. That's true. And Elaine says, is your channel monetized? Yes, it is. So I make like $2, $3, not even that, like $1.50 to $2 on a live stream. Unless someone makes a donation like you did very generously or buys me a coffee. Buying a coffee or donating to PayPal directly is the best way, because when you do the super chat like that, YouTube takes like 40 to 50% of that for themselves, and then they leave me a little bit, right? But coffee and PayPal, it goes directly to me with just a five. Like if you do buy me a coffee, I lose about 10% off the top. If you do directly to PayPal, I lose about 5%. But with super chat and stuff, it's about 40 to 50% comes off the top. Not that it matters. I appreciate anything anybody can do, you know. I always try to do my best, and anything you guys can offer, coffee, super chat, PayPal, you know, I really appreciate as well. It does help me a lot and keeps me going and motivates me, of course, you know. But I do this a lot just because I like hanging out with everybody, and I learn a lot too, right? Like I just learned that my M1 Mark III has a folder thing. I mean, just little things, but it accumulates. Assuming I can remember, it accumulates. So the next person that asks me that, I'm gonna be like this, and everybody's gonna say, Rob is a goddamn genius, you know? But no, I'm not. It's because I come out here every day or 3, 4 times a week. I'm streaming, talking with other photographers like yourselves, because many of you have a lot more experience than I do. And we're exchanging information, right? I contribute what I can, you guys contribute what you can in the chat section among each other, or directly back to me, like you're telling me some channels to go check out. Like this guy, I already forgot his name, but I'm subscribed now, so his stuff will come up in my feed. No, it's you know, photography is a forever learning, growing process, right? Yeah, the Pen FT is a great camera. Yes, Roberto. Oh, thank you, Plato. I did get another job finally, yes. Oh, I better keep track of time. I have another stream coming. Yeah, less real estate jobs mean more time with us. Yeah, so I got to time it this weekend. I don't know if I can do my Sunday stream or if I have to go do this photo job. You know, I have a little flexibility with the weather. In this case, you know, they said it's no rush, just go when the weather's good. So if the weather is good on Sunday, I may not be able to stream. Maybe I'll just stream on Saturday. But I'll give some thought to it tomorrow morning. So I may have to stream on Saturday instead of Sunday. Plus, it's my sister's birthday, so I don't know when we're celebrating that. And she lives like, you know, a couple hours away, so I have to budget for that. It's very complicated. You know, holidays, birthdays, work, streams. There's you know, my dog. Thank God I don't have kids. I would be, yeah, I'd be in a lot of trouble if I had kids. And Pen Pal asks, do I have another job besides real? No, I do not. I just do the real estate. So yeah, when I didn't have a job for 7 weeks, that was painful. And it's my fault. You know, really, I should not have put myself in this position that, you know, I should build up a larger base of agents. You know, typically, if you can get about 6 or 7 agents that are fairly active, you can stay busy and almost make a living off that. I don't want to go make that much money. I just want to keep busy, make some money, have time for this, you know, YouTube and hanging out. But I've been slacking a little bit, you know? And so have the agents. One of the agents, oh my God, I'm not saying they're slacking. I'm just saying they may be hard for them to get new listings, but I've been checking their sites and they're not getting new listings except this one lady. She's very consistent, but she doesn't hire me for all her jobs. If she did, I would be constantly busy. But she doesn't hire me for all of them. Just time to time, she calls me out. The other agents, they don't have any new listings. So I can't blame them for not calling me because they don't have any listings. And I got in a little bit of a Well, anyway, I had a little bit of a problem with one of them. Um, I mean, they always pay and everything, but what's worse is when, if they don't pay, that's not so bad, actually. I can deal with it if they don't pay because I just don't work for them anymore, right? It's over, right? I can deal, you can cut somebody off if they don't pay you. I'm fine with that. My problem is when they say they paid you for something and they didn't, you know. So I got into that situation with one of them where they said that they paid me to do something and I didn't do it. And that created more tension than somebody not paying me. Because if somebody doesn't pay me, it's not what happens to you, it's how you react, right? So my reaction is, that's fine. I just won't work for you anymore. It's okay. You go find somebody else and not pay them, but don't come to me. But when somebody accuses me of not doing my job, uh, my reaction is not, well, I'll go do it again, or I'll go do it for free. It's like, how do you react to that? So it's very awkward, right? So I had a little bit of a problem like that a couple weeks ago. It's been resolved. I showed him the invoice from, like, God, this was back in March. I said, here's the invoice, right? It's just for the frickin' photographs, nothing else. You didn't ask me to do the video job on it, because I do video work now. And he's like, no, I paid you to do the video job. You didn't do it. I says, you didn't pay me. I'm like, like I said, we worked it out, but anyhow. But that's the difference between, that's why I say if somebody doesn't pay me, I'm okay. I don't get upset. I don't lose any sleep over it. I mean, I'm a little disappointed. And thank God it's only happened once where I didn't get paid. One time. But it didn't bother me. I'm like, it's their loss. It's their loss. You don't want to deal with somebody long term or have a relationship with somebody that does that. It's good that you find out after one job that they don't pay you. It's okay. you know if that's the worst thing that happens to me in my life, it's a good day, right? Anyhow, let's see. Snowy Maine, 16 inches. Yeah, up north it is a lot more snow, isn't it? And Randy says, I agree. The Mark II series are great. And Joseph Bonifacio says, have you noticed the older mirrorless Olympus cameras are going up in price? Silver pen F are pretty rare now. EP1 and EP2s are all double. Really? Ooh, I can pick up me an EP1 for $100 with a lens in good condition. Maybe I'll do that. Collector's item. And then Tina says, I fell on a rocky riverbank trying to pan kayakers. Hit the HDR button, now it does not work. Ooh. I've been quoted $275 to fix it, so I have to work around it. Yeah, that sucks. I luckily Olympus repaired mine under warranty work. Something else broke. I broke the HDR button on my. It's not the HDR. I broke this button on my camera. You guys may have seen. If you watch my old streams, you'll see it in one of them. But I broke this button. But then something else broke on the camera that was covered under warranty, so I just listed both, and they fixed it. If I had to send it in to get fixed, yeah, I would probably have to pay $275. I hear that's about the going rate to fix anything on a camera. $275 and up. Oh, okay, Stephen, thank you. EM10 Mark III has edit file name, menu H. Yeah, that's edit file name, but not folder, right? Does it have the folder option? That was from like 20 minutes ago, but I know, but I'm just catching up here. Lauren is here. Hey, Lauren. So if I gain weight this holiday season, I can fit through the front door, but not the sliding window door. Lauren is a comedian on the side. Randy says, my little place is only 600 square feet. Wow, that's awesome. That's all you need, honestly. I don't need this freaking house, you know, but well, that's another story. But um, I do need a yard. But yeah, anybody that really needs, if you're single living alone, you really don't need much more than 600, maybe 1,000 square feet if you're trying to run a business. You just need an office space separate from your bedroom, but you can get by with 600. That place was a one bedroom, one bath, living room, kitchen, kind of in the same space. Nice, very quaint, you know, nice little balcony. I mean, I could live there easily. I mean, I'd really like a second room for all this, you know, all my camera stuff, but if I had to, I could get by with a one bedroom. I would just make the one bedroom my office and then just sleep in the living room with a futon. You know, I did that for years. I just had a futon. I had a futon and my desk in a one bedroom apartment for a couple of years. And that's all I needed, you know. I don't see why not, Bob. Finley, can the E1 dot sight be used on any camera with a hot shoe? I don't see why not. It's just a red dot thing. It's not calibrated for any specific camera or lens. You calibrate it when you put it on the hot shoe. It has little dials on it that you tweak, so it should be fine. Yeah, kids are good. Definitely keep you on your toes. And that's my only regret in life. I never had kids. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't think I wanted any, so I didn't pursue it. Um, but looking back now, not having kids, I'm like, it's like one of the things in life that I'll just never experience, you know. I have to live vicariously through my sister and her kids, you know, my nephews, which is pretty close. And having the joy side, right? But not the not the hard part of raising kids, you know, but that's also part of life, right? I haven't had that experience of the hard part. Um, Now that they're teenagers, the hard part is really going to start for them. And Roberto says, pain and sweat video, $150. Uploading a kidney surprise video, $10,000. Kinder surprise toy video. I have no idea what a Kinder surprise toy video is. Wow. I mean, some videos over time do make $30, $40, you know, after like a year. Some videos, like my tutorial videos, some of those do pretty well. But, you know, it's not like I'm making hundreds of dollars on a video. That's not happening. It's like some videos, like I'll lose subscribers and I'll make like $1.50 and I spent like, you know, 12 hours making it. And it's like, I do it for everyone out there, for you guys. I also do it for myself because it reinforces, you know, my photography skill set. Um, and there is money to be made here on YouTube, no question. But it's, you know, unless you have, you know, 100, 200,000 subscribers, even then it's just barely, you know, that's not like make a living kind of money. Not in the camera market, you know. I don't know what other channels, some other channels that are more financial based, you know, how to make money, things like that. Yeah, you can make a living on 100,000 subscribers, but a channel, camera channel, no, you're not going to do it. Um, and then there's some businesses or some channels that have hardly any subscribers, but they make a living because they sell their own products or whatever, right? But yeah, the little channels like camera channels. I'm not going to speak for the other, you know, all the other guys that we know, Robin and Peter and those guys. But for me, yeah, it's just pocket change. Um, you know, for videos, especially live streams. Like I said, unless there's a donation or coffee or something, It's nothing. Oh God, 5 minutes to my next stream. Let me get through these real quick and then I have to go. Not paying for a job done is a disgrace. People like that have no honor. Yeah. Like I said, it's very rare. I've had it happen to me once on a photo job. The Morgan's is 600 square feet. That wouldn't hold a bourbon and hi-fi gear. Oh, you're into hi-fi too? Wow, we'll have to talk about that one day. I didn't even show you guys the watch. I have a new watch. It's not new, but I found my dad's my dad passed away last year, but I found my dad's watch from the 70s. It's a Seiko 5 from the mid 70s. The 6119-8083, if that, because I know some of you guys are into watches, but it has a 6119 movement, you know, day-date complication, all that. And I put a blue NATO. I wish you guys could see a cleaner picture of it. Ugh. Maybe this cable will do it. But yeah, I'm really this watch has a lot of sentimental value to it for me. Oh, this freaking young Nuo glass. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Dial in some exposure comp. There it is. White balance is way off, but let's see, 626. Yep. So I set it last night, so it's been keeping accurate time for one day anyway. I put this blue NATO strap on it. I'm surprised the condition it's in. It's in really good condition. But I found it, I was looking for something else, a cable or something. So I went down to dig it up out of a box and I said, what's this box? And I had a whole box of watches from when I was a little kid up to like 10 years ago when I moved into this house, or 12 years ago. I found a bag of watches. I had a Casio, calculator Casio, a couple of those. I had a couple other Seikos. I'm a big Seiko fan and other stuff. But anyway, we all have kids, they're called politicians. Ain't that the truth? And Dave says, I have the Seiko 5 also from 1970. Bought it new. Yeah. And Seiko SNKO 007 discontinued is now shooting up in price. Yeah, I might have to, I bought my nephew, if he's, of course he's watching now, right? But I bought him a Seiko 5 SNK 007. I think. Let me make sure. I'm gonna do this and then I have to go to my other stream. I got a good deal on it though. Oh no, I got an SNK 809. I got him this one. The SNK 809. And you know, he's 11th grade or something now. Wow, $81. I gotta get another one. Dang it. I'm gonna add this to my cart. So I'll deal with that. But anyhow, I have to look at the SNK 807. I have to look at that. That must be the black dial watch, right? That's sort of, you know, I have a Sarbo 33 that's going up in price because they stopped making that, but I got a good deal on that when I bought it. I bought it earlier this year. SNK 807. Pico SNK007. Oh, the diver watches. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of divers. That's why. Okay, yeah, I'm not a big fan of divers. Anyhow, what's the serial on the back? It will tell you the decade and date. Oh, really? I have to look. I can't look at it now because on a NATO strap, so I'd have to unravel it all. Um, and I'm missing. Bob Finley says I have the E1.3. Get Olympus mistakenly shipped and charged me for two, so I'm looking to sell one. Wow. Wow, so you had to pay for two cameras and you only wanted one? That sucks. They're great cameras, but man. Speaking of time though, I have to run. I'm already over my next stream. I'm gonna do a photo editing live stream next. So everybody, thanks again. It's always fun to hang out and talk to everyone. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend it with me as always. I'm gonna be back maybe Saturday or Sunday. It depends on what day I have to do my photo job. So we'll see. And my sister's birthday and all of that is complicated. So just keep an eye out on my channel, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. But either way, I hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks again for coming in.